Greetings and peace, everybody. Welcome to the C.R.S.A YouTube channel. I am your host, Brotha Neo, and I'm here to share some info with the people. I'm out in this beautiful, beautiful day, walking, enjoying my walk, and it's a little bit windy, so I'm not too sure if y'all gonna be able to actually hear me, but we're gonna try this, and then I'll figure out whatever I need to figure out and adjust in the editing. But I want to go ahead and do my best to make this brief, because these past few months dealing with these women these days, dealing with these women these days has made me really understand what's going on with our society and how it's programming our women and people in general. I'm gonna say people in general, but for me, this video comes from my own experience dealing with women previously within this last 3 months, and also the reading of this new book that I have titled Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And it's from the Dr. Joseph Dispenza, something like that. And this book is telling me a lot of the stuff that I already knew, but it is actually giving me the understanding of the nooks and crannies of the stuff that I did not already know. And like the psychological, emotional, and even physical conditioning of an individual, and how that creates a conditioned response. Like, for example, if a person has a tough childhood with their parents and or their family, that, and especially within the first 7 years of the person's life, that is largely the time period where they're getting conditioned, because their overall being, their psychological, the physical being is primed for programming. So if a child is getting beat, getting disrespected, just overall just not being treated the way that a child is supposed to be treated, and it's not a nurturing experience, it's not a nurturing experience for the child, then more than likely, if they don't go through some kind of reconditioning throughout the rest of their life, at some point they're more than likely going to have those conditioned responses, whether it's going to be dysfunctional in some kind of way, unless they get some kind of psychological reconditioning of it. So that's why, and not only that, in a variety of their relationships, they're going to have negative responses even toward the little petty things that they deal with throughout their life, their relationships. That's why you see some people, something very quick could happen, something small, like a person didn't text a person at an important time, where it would have helped out if they would have texted them back or would have called them at a certain time, or an arrangement got messed up due to some kind of miscommunication, which probably could have been fixed if the people have had correct communication training. And that's one of the things that I've noticed too, that throughout many families is they don't teach their children how to communicate well, properly, and maturely. So what goes on is there's so many people, they miscommunicate because they never had the training, and they never understood the importance of having the training, at least for yourself. And that's how it was with me and my family. I didn't have the training from my mother or my father or nobody that actually gave me the training to understand how to communicate appropriately. So I had to pick that up myself. I had to learn on my own and condition myself for proper communication, because that's what it is. Communication deals with the mind and the brain. If you don't have the proper training for that, then you're more than likely going to have a lot of miscommunication in your relationships with other people, and that's what goes on often. And then not only that, their perceptions of people, places, and things in life itself, if they don't have the nurturing background from their childhood, then they're going to have a negative viewpoint. Here go the wind. Then they're going to have a negative perspective on a variety of things within their relationships. So it's like some people who suffer from a lot of unresolved issues, internal conflicts, a lot of them, no matter what you say, no matter how well you do things, it's going to be a major conflict for them. And they're gonna always flip it in a negative viewpoint, in a negative way. And like, for example, if it's a woman who didn't have her, if her father abused her, or one or more of her family members abused her throughout her life, in her childhood, and even her teens, then there's a good chance that she's going to have a negative outlook on men when she get older in one way or another. It's going to come up, that it's going to trigger unless she gets therapy. And it's the same way with men, the other way around, if it's the mother. Like for me, my mother for many years, throughout my years, was disrespectful to me due to her father not respecting her appropriately, and my father didn't. Well, maybe my father did, because I can't really say, because I didn't really see them two together. But I can tell that when they were together, she was the one who did a lot of the disrespect to him. Just like how it is with a lot of women, they disrespect the men in their relationships nowadays, where they're the dominant one, dominating their man, and they're not respecting their man. But at the same time, the man has to have something to actually respect, and he has to respect himself. So once you respect yourself and you check the woman, and then if she keep being disrespectful, then you got to just leave. That's why you got to stop being so quick to fall in love with these people nowadays, and you got to stretch it out. You got to go through your process, understand, pay attention, stay alert. Stop being so quick to fall in love, and stop having that need to fall in love, that desperate need to fall in love. You got to fall in love with yourself first. Love yourself, really truly understand yourself, and respect yourself, and not allow other people to disrespect you and your time. So if you continue to allow people to do that, then they're going to keep doing that to you over and over again. So that's the same thing with me, knowing that within myself and respecting myself. That was the reason why I only gave a woman 2 times. After the first time, she yelled at me, unreasonably yelled at me when I was driving her vehicle, and I was like, "Yo, why were you so angry?" And then she was going crazy at that time. I was like, "No, you know what? I'm not gonna put up with that. So I'm going home." So I went home that time, and then it was a few days later. She wanted me to come over again. And then we talked about it the next day, actually, and then she said she's sorry. She didn't mean to be that loud. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna give her another chance. So I gave her another chance, and then that Saturday. Now, keep in mind that the week earlier, I stayed the night at her place. And then I was looking at her books, because she knows that I'm a reader. I love to read and into personal development. So I was looking at her books, and at that time when everything was peaceful, she was okay with me looking at her books, right? So I grabbed the book and I was looking at it, a few of them, and then I had one on her bed that I was actually reading. She had no problem with it, and she didn't say anything with it. But that Saturday, when she was edgy and she was dehydrated, and she wasn't feeling good, probably about her finances, because she said something about her finances, her bank being in a negative balance, which I had nothing to do with it. So why are you telling me about it? I'm not gonna help you to get out of that. We still new. We don't need to be talking about finances like that. But anyways, so then I grabbed the book. It was I think it was the art of, no, it was, it was one of those, it was a Santeria book. It was a Santeria book. I think it was orange and something. I forgot what it was. It was a Santeria book, and I wanted to learn more about Santeria. So I picked it up, brought it in the living room, and she was vacuuming. And I said, "Excuse me, can I read this book, please? And she just went, stop, don't touch my stuff, yada, 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 yada. I was like, whoa. Okay. That's the second time she did that. So then we went to talking, right? And then later on, I brought it up again. I was like, look, you really did not have to speak that way to me. And it's like what you could have done is been like, okay, look, I really don't want you to touch my book right now. So can you please put it back? Or whatever, something respectful like that. And then she went off and she said that she didn't want me talking to her about how to speak. And she said it in a loud, disrespectful way. She was like, I don't want you to tell me how to speak and yada, yada, yada. And then she was like, I don't want you touching my stuff and yada, yada, yada. But keep in mind that she said that she wanted to be in a relationship with me and she wanted to build. So a person speaking like that is a clear sign that they are not ready to be in a committed relationship with anyone, or a relationship in general. When they lack that patience and understanding, and they don't try to understand the individual, if they don't try to understand the individual and see things from their point of view and explain things in a calm, relaxed manner, but it's just a jumpy and then just a quick response, that largely is a clear sign that individual has one or more inner conflicts that is unresolved, and is just a automatic response that is coming up from them for whatever the situation is. And many times it's a dysfunctional response that is coming out of them, and it's her. And then there was another one that got angry over something stupid. Let me see. Because I don't know what it was. I won't even go into that one. But now I'm starting to see, and even reading the book in chapter 3, that said that talks about overcoming the body and its conditioning that we've been through, made me realize, like, okay, look, so this is what's going on with a lot of these women that I've been with. They have negative conditioning within themselves, and they have not dealt with their negative conditioning. Just like me, I've dealt with a lot of my negative conditioning to the point now I'm even conscious of it when it comes about, and I can be aware of it and I can change it and prevent it from negatively affecting my social engagements. And even if it does negatively affect my social engagements, I still can fix it, the situation, and move on, because I'm highly resilient. That's the issue that a lot of people have, is they're not resilient. One little thing could happen, one little petty thing, they can get mad, or they get sad, they cry, or they pout like a little baby, or they lash out, and then they can't move on. So then they lose out on the thing that they said that they wanted to do. Just like earlier today, there was a female that wanted to do something with me today, but she got mad just because I replied to her in a way, as far as scheduling. It was a scheduling issue, and she got mad because I didn't reply in the time that she expected. But I did reply in general, and as far as the time period, there was no reason for us to be strict on that time period. So what if it was a few minutes, or some odd minutes, 15 minutes before we scheduled it? There's no reason. And if there was a reason to be strict, she did not communicate that to me either. So this is what I'm saying, you guys, you really got to take your time dealing with people before you decide to be in relationships with people, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on within a person that is unresolved. And I don't care about their material possessions. Here in America, the way that it is programmed people to make them believe that they have to have certain material possessions to make them look like an adult. So what if they got a car? So what if they got a house? So what if they got a lot of money? All of those things mean little to nothing to a committed relationship if you do not know how to control your own behavior, and if you have not grown psychologically into an adult. That's what's most important. You have to grow psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually to an adult. Well, spiritually, it's not an adult. I don't know. I guess, yeah, because you still can be spiritually immature. You still can be spiritually immature. So that's what I'm saying. So me dating like two 40-year-olds, and they both responded to very small things immaturely, that is another one of my many examples that shows me that age is just a number. Like Aaliyah, the singer Aaliyah said it on her, what was it? It was, she had a song, and her album cover was age is nothing but age ain't nothing but a number, and that's true. It is. But here in America, the system has it making people think that you have, just because you have a few material things, that you're considered an adult. No, a 15-year-old can be an adult psychologically more than a goddamn 40-year-old if you know what to look for, and if they have been conditioned for adulthood psychologically. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. So if you want more information like that, because this information and a variety of my videos come from my own personal experience and my analysis of those experiences, so that I can actually learn about myself and relationships, so that I can have much more successful, meaningful relationships with other people in the future. Unlike most people, they're not seeking to have meaningful relationships. They want to just stay the same as they are. But no, my channel here and at NeoOneness Subliminal's YouTube channel here, my two channels is about growth, personal development, seeking to help other people improve as I improve myself. So go ahead, click that subscribe button, click the notification button, and click that thumbs up button, so that this video can get spread to other people. And also share it if you are share it on anywhere on your social media networks. All right, thank you. Until next time.